listen, we're all burnt out on MamaMax, but apparently the Red Pagan Network person, the big MamaMax defender, made a video disavowing MamaMax, cutting ties and making amends. I don't think it's that deep, but whatever. Apparently they apologized to me, so like I'm very vain. I'm very full of myself. I'm very into myself. I like myself a lot. The most, actually. I like myself more than anybody else. I don't like anybody else. I don't respect anyone but myself. I'm just kidding. I'm just curious. I'm just curious about it now. So like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do a MamaMax video. Oh, we gotta get the sweet intro. Get it? We gotta get the intro. Oh, there's no sweet intro. It was like a little clown horn and then turned off.
Hey everybody.
All right, I gotta turn myself down because it's too loud.
I wanted to
Wow, I'm turning myself way down.
come on here and make a statement.
You know, by the way, guys, people have been getting upset with me because I keep saying, like, you know, I don't think this is a bad person. Not a lot of people, by the way, just a couple of people, a couple of losers. I'm like, you know, I feel bad for this person. I think that they mean well, and people are being a little too rude to them. And somebody's like, well, the reason is because they support MamaMax and he's a bad guy. It's like, I know, but you know, that guy can be a bit manipulative to people. I think that's what happens. You know, he gets in your head. He's like, oh, I'm doing a good thing, so if you don't support me, you're not. And you're like, well, I want to do a good thing. And then all of a sudden, here you are, apologizing to Papa Gut. It's terrible, slippery slope, I guess. I don't know. That's what people say. All right.
I want to just say that I'm sorry to anyone that I brought into this rabbit hole.
I'm gonna turn it up on the video.
I want to apologize to Muda, and
I think it's a little. I think that the almost funny thing is that this person unintentionally helped some like random person and like invade in and get the what was it? Some of the evidence that was going on. They're like, I'm a victim too, and then she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna help you out. I'll get you in. They didn't have to give any identifying information. It's crazy.
Chud Logic.
I know my audio dropped. I reduced my volume.
And Lyrics and Papa Gut and basically.
Oh my God, Papa Gut was mentioned, dude. We did it.
Any others who tried to get me to see the light.
Yeah. I'm gonna be real with you. I was just trying to have fun. You know? I'm trying to have fun.
I wouldn't listen.
I wonder what encouraged this change though, because I feel like sometimes people just decide to change their perspective. Well, that might actually be better.
I'm sorry for being so hot.
Some people might just change their perspective because they're getting a little bit of heat, and they're just like, I don't want to get bullied anymore, so I'm gonna just change my mind. So
style towards everyone who was just trying to get me to open my eyes. I'm sorry to my followers who I misled into thinking that this person was doing good work.
Okay.
When they weren't. They were just using me and other people to essentially create the very thing that they were fighting against.
Maybe? I don't know.
Which was a cult, you know. That's essentially
okay. I guess that makes sense. I was like, I don't think Max is actually diddling kids or anything.
What?
Although I don't know, I don't know if that other guy was. I don't know if the werewolf was either. To be honest with you, so
his whole looking back, that is what.
Listen in the chat. Shut the fuck up. I know that I'm low. I turned myself down to match this person's volume. Like I'm gonna turn it up in the actual video, but you're gonna have to suck it up.
Max's whole shtick was. It was literally, it's a cult within itself, claiming to fight against other cults.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's smart, man. That's a smart thing to do. You make your own cult, and then you fight against other cults. It's like just cult superiority, supremacy. So that's all it is. I got to
predatory individuals and groups.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry to the victims who I was trying to help.
I got it all
whose justice is still much deserved.
Alleged victims, we don't know. It's possible though.
And needs to be served. And that I want to help in whatever capacity that I'm able to. But
Okay.
Going forward, I simply ask that you seek help first in whatever means that is, whether it's therapy, uh, talking to a mentor, talking to a friend, talking to your parents, talking
Will you
to,
be my mentor?
a teacher,
Yeah,
talking to a
I would say, I guess so. Maybe the police if it's real, but I don't know how many of these people are real. I feel like nowadays, I don't know. I feel like nowadays sometimes people they'll have something bad will happen to them, and then they'll look back at it, and it wasn't like great, but they'll just sensationalize it. They won't realize it. I don't know. It's like weird, you know?
counselor. I don't care. Just get, there are resources out there.
Yeah,
Go to the authorities.
true.
I'm not a big fan of cops, but
Why? Why aren't you a big fan of cops? I see a lot of communists say that, but like, have you ever interacted with a cop before? Um, because they're assholes. But I know why, because I've dealt with them before. You know, I remember one time I was going real fast, like 3 a.m. on like a highway. I forget which one. And this cop, who was off duty, he came up and he was like next to me, and he was going 76 miles an hour. So I'm like, oh, this guy wants to race. So I race him, and then he's trying to pull me over. I'm like, I ain't pulling over. Guy gets on duty, he goes to my house, gives me a ticket. He starts screaming at me. You know, I'm like, what the fuck? I thought you were trying to race me, dude. He's like, I was trying to pull you over. I was like, I'm not going to pull over for you. You're a random guy. I was like 19 though, so.
in a situation like this, even though they can be inept and incompetent at times, and
I mean, it's better than the incompetent cops, as you say, are better than the YouTuber. So
every other negative thing I can think of, they have to at least take a report. They have to at least, they have to at least file something.
yeah, and which Max did not do. He said he did, and they just never did. I gotta collect the people. I gotta get a bunch of people so they can go file a report. Just go file the report.
And even if your justice is not served, do that before speaking out. And if you are comfortable, if you are courageous enough to speak out,
Well, beautiful
then
stuff.
do it and continue to speak your truth.
Yeah, I don't think the cop was allowed to do that. He just did it. And there was another time I was driving to another state, and the speed limit went from like 60 to like fucking 30 so quick, and I got pulled over. I'm like, what? He's like, the speed limit's only like 30. I was like, what are you talking about, bro? And he gave me a ticket. But I was in another state, so I think that's what it was. He saw my plates. He saw my New York plates, and he's like, I'm just going to get this guy. He's not going to come in back and contest it. All right, this poor-ass bitch. This fucking cop suck my balls, dude.
There are victims of Camden Gerard Davis. We can see that in the leaks.
Oh, wait, okay, again. What leaks? We see it in. What are you talking about? What do you mean they're a victim? How do we know? Well, I don't know that that's true.
That have come out.
What leaks?
But the way that Max
What am I missing here? What did we get?
went about this whole thing, just
Oh, God.
the way that Max went about this was just completely wrong. On a basic level, was just wrong.
Damn.
It was unethical. There was no sort of tact or grace to it at all.
Okay.
So I've severed any and all connections with him and Spencer. As
Okay.
of this as of Saturday.
I'm not trying to be rude, but like, what does that matter? Like, I'm not even trying to be an asshole, but it's like, it's one thing for someone like Mudahar to be like, I'm not going to talk to this guy anymore. But you're just kind of like, I don't know. Like, who are you? You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be rude. You know, one day, maybe we'll all be somebody. Who am I? If I was like, I'm severing ties from MamaMax, like, okay, the fuck am I? Like, what does that matter? I'm just some fat idiot, you know?
The 21st, I believe it was, or 20th, I've severed all connections with them.
Wow.
I've blocked them on any platform that I had them on.
Think like that. Okay.
And I completely disavow Max in any and all capacity. I disavow Spencer in any and all capacity, and I will be deleting.
It's so weird though, because I feel like if you believe that these people are victims of Camden Gerard Davis, then why are you disavowing Max? Wouldn't your biggest criticism be like, oh, I really don't like how Max handled this stuff, but I still believe the allegations. But this isn't like I really disagree and I'm frustrated. This is like, oh, I disavow this guy. To me, I don't know. To me, it kind of just comes off as being a little bit. I mean, listen, this person's probably getting a lot of pushback from people, and they're a smaller creator. So they probably didn't really handle it very well. They're just getting really upset and frustrated and decided to apologize. Well, that's what it kind of feels like to me. It's more like, hey guys, just leave me alone. But if you believe them, and like there might be victims, I don't know, but we don't really know. That's my thing. But maybe I'm wrong. But we don't really know. There's nothing that even close to, I don't, nothing. It's like no proof at all, other than a couple people being like, hey, it was bad. But if that, I mean, what is that? Spencer? Her story was so weird. I'm talking with this girl on their podcast show, whatever it was weird. The fact that Spencer tried to make a YouTube career out of this was weird. The whole thing is weird. It doesn't really add up to me.
The interview that I did with Spencer, I will be keeping the one up with the one I did with Kayla will be currently
Who the fuck is Kayla?
Will be privated for right now, unless she wants it to be re-released, but that will be on private for now.
Okay. I don't even know who Kayla
I don't
is.
normally delete videos.
Okay.
I don't normally private videos.
Okay.
But this was a situation where I felt it was necessary for either a victim's safety or for the sense that I got caught up in a rabbit hole that turned out to not be being led by somebody that, or two people that weren't who they said they were and weren't being forthcoming or honest in any way.
All right, cool. I feel like that could have been it. I feel like this 20-minute apology probably is a little too much. You know, the more you have to explain, the weirder it gets, you know? Just kind of be cool. Oh, dude, you just got me killed because I'm fucking talking about this damn thing. Come on, man. Just apologize for that.
I was duped by someone that I thought was a good person doing good work.
A dubious duper duped me.
Hunting predators, only for him to essentially be a monster himself.
A monster.
And
I don't know if Max is a monster. Max is just a loser. Like, Max is the theater kid in high school who was, like, kind of attractive in his group, but was, like, a real fucking obnoxious dork. Dude, I'm so upset. I'm so upset right now.
It's led me to
so upset right now.
Rethink a lot of stuff.
That's cool.
That's out there about him.
The Bone Zone. That's what
As more victims have come out, the more they begin to have a sense of his deception.
Oh, shit.
Recently, even Nexpo and Night Docs have severed their ties with Max.
Fucking
after the last few days of victims feeling very...
Pass to _Muncher_42 super chatted $1.32. Papa, please. We've had MamaMax left.
Jesus.
Days.
Yo, shut up. That's so loud. What the fuck? How do I turn that down? Because I had... Oh, I turned this down. I'll turn this... I don't even know how I would do it. I don't know, dude. It's just going to have to hurt my... I mean, I'm going to pause these during the thing. I'm pausing them. Sorry, guys. I'm pausing them for now.
Put off.
Audio's all over the place.
And even going so far as to threaten or even admitting to self-harm after having interactions with him.
That's crazy. I don't know what the hell we're talking about, though.
Something in me finally woke up. That...
The werewolf inside of me finally woke up. Oh, we own the night. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good one.
Maybe Max is not a good person after all.
Yeah.
And that me being aligned with him isn't going to...
Red Pagan Corner, I see that you're making a video denouncing me as the friends that I thought we once were. I now know what side you're on.
Wait, is it?
I now know what side you're on. Red Pagan Corner. Leviathans are coming for you.
Which one is the better one?
Isn't going to be a good look going forward.
Good looks, my friend.
In addition to that, he was hostile, cold, distant, paranoid.
Okay.
Very paranoid. And honestly, that really reflected in his so-called investigation.
Okay, I guess.
Which it turns out he wasn't really doing anything. And all the things that he had claimed that he was doing prior to that, like the IMVU and kids chat and all that, he never actually knew what the fuck he was doing.
Damn.
So essentially he...
I know what I'm doing when I chat with kids. Wait.
Okay. Basically pulled a Chris Hansen. In fact,
Chris Hansen. I don't understand, why do people criticize Chris Hansen? I thought that the issue, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I thought that the issue with Chris Hansen is that like he was it was considered entrapment the way that he was engaging in it, and people were getting away with it. But also I feel like most of the people that went on Chris Hansen were just like fucking people with like disabilities too. It's just like so weird.
So far to say that he's worse than Chris Hansen at this point.
Damn, worse
Even
than
though
Chris
people
Hansen.
were telling him, don't fuck this up, don't, pull a Chris Hansen.
Don't pull a Christopher Hansen.
At the end of the day, he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
He doesn't even know. This guy doesn't even know.
I used to be a Patreon supporter of him.
Of Chris Hansen?
And I've since pulled that.
Oh.
Honestly, I think out of everything, that was the first thing that I did.
Why the hell were you a Patreon supporter of Max? How much did these people like fall for this guy? It's so crazy.
Pulled my contributions to him because given the controversy that was surrounding him and my changing feelings about him.
Did you guys sext or anything? I'm curious about the tea on that.
I was realizing that my money could be better served for other YouTubers that are doing
probably drugs, honestly, but you better serve for anything other than giving it to Max.
Actual good work, or are whose content is worth supporting, like Nexpos.
Okay.
So
I feel like I've heard Nexpo before. Who is that person? I feel like I should know who that person is. I just forgot. All right, I had to empty my brain of relevant information on this topic so that I could do more when it comes to recipes for food recipes, because I'm a fat person. But I don't cook. I yell the recipes at my wife. I scream at her. I say, "Cook this food," and then I just start yelling like 3 tablespoons of butter. It's a lot of butter.
During my short time interacting with Max and Spencer, they never once provided me any sort of access, any sort of actual proof themselves. They never provided me any sort of access to their server, any sort of information,
maybe they didn't
other
trust
than
you.
what I was already out there publicly, or at least swirling around, stuff that was being leaked.
Okay.
Or that they just so happened to generously like spoon feed me, like it was state-sponsored prop.
I think this person's saying it was state-sponsored propaganda. I put a lot of energy into this. This is so weird.
I never once had any of them stand up for me when I was being harassed and threatened.
Damn. They really are not real ones, huh?
All the while I'm over here lobbying for everyone else to be patient, and I'm just growing more anxious and frustrated because I'm getting a lot of heat and attention from the interviews, and the criticism was growing, and people were...
You should probably try to ignore that stuff, honestly. Like, sometimes it's not worth engaging with everybody. It's best to just ignore it a lot of times.
Saying things about me and
pick a side, Spencer. I mean, pick a side.
Harassing me, making death threats against me.
Red Bacon Corner. Pick a side. Pick a side.
And I had no more answers than what the general public was being given.
Pick a side.
And I had no answers to give myself.
YouTube.
You probably would have been better off if you just didn't overly affirm everything Spencer said.
But all the while, I continued to believe.
Because all you're really saying here is like, hey, I believed in this cause, and I hadn't seen any of the proof either. I mean, I get it though. They're riding MamaMax's credibility, so they believe it more, but it doesn't really speak well to you necessarily.
I believe that something was going to be revealed.
A wiener will be revealed. Wiener on the wall.
Pressure continued to grow.
Yeah.
I began to feel like maybe everybody was right.
Damn.
Maybe
I can't believe you let the propaganda gut get you to disbelieve Max, because I did it on purpose, guys. I'm sitting here, I'm like, you know what? I know Camden Gerard Davis. Him and me were buddies. We went to the same school together. All right, we're vampires. And I saw this as an opportunity to get into everybody's head and be like, this is not real. Ooh. I'm actually a ghost. He's a vampire. I'm a ghost. I was like, this isn't real. And you don't think so, but like I was there from the start. I was there from the start with Tommy C, guys. And I was like, woo. That's who I started with. I was invading his mind with ghost powers. Ooh, MamaMax is cringe, right? And I slowly worked my way up to Mudahar, You know, I was out at a convenience store one day, and I was like, Buddha, MamaMax is cringe. That's it. There's no real evidence. There's tons of evidence, guys. There were so many witness testimonies. That's evidence, apparently. But what doesn't matter? I was backing up my friend, my werewolf vampire, Camden Gerard Davis. Okay? We used to call him Count Cam. Pretty cool, actually. We used to think it's cool. But that was a couple 100 years ago when words were different. Now it just sounds kind of cringe, but that's okay. We're going to change his name. We're thinking of Blackula Dog because he's a werewolf and a vampire. So, mission accomplished. I do say so myself.
Was being used and that they were keeping me in the dark so that essentially I could just be used as a shield.
Yeah.
And after several victims came forward, they started having...
I actually taught him the Riz. I taught him this movement. I taught him that before I died. Before I had died and became a ghost, I taught him that. It's true.
Concerns about Max, and after speaking with someone who was actually actively working to help the victims, was when the truth actually began to be revealed and started making sense. There are victims out there who are and were being victimized by Camden Gerard Davis.
Yeah. Yeah, they fell for the, hey guys, I'm a vampire. Serious question, though. If black people became vampires, would they be unstoppable? Because white vampires can't go out in the sun, but I feel like black vampires can. So I feel like a black vampire would probably be unstoppable. I feel like a black vampire would have the same amount of sun sensitivity as a white regular person, which is, it's not very good. I'm not a big fan. I don't do very well when I go outside.
But these same people were also allegedly being victimized by Spencer and being duped by Max. And I was devastated. I was ashamed and embarrassed. And frankly, that's why I ended up, and quite frankly, you know, that was why I ended up going dark for the last few days, because
we did blackface.
I just needed to take a break and re-examine everything that was going on.
Okay. Oh, they call them daywalkers?
And finally, all the pieces came together, and I knew that the only thing left for me to do was really...
Also, it'd be kind of hard to see a black vampire at night, you know? That's it.
To come on here and make a statement and just...
I feel like black vampires are superior to white vampires, actually, as I'm talking about this.
Essentially ask the community for forgiveness to those that I wronged, and to admit that I was wrong. You know, Max is not the person...
You want me to make more jokes about Mexican and Asian people? Like, what do you want me to do? I mean, like, I feel like there's no real difference between, like, an Asian person and an Asian vampire. They both eat raw meat anyway. Just busted chops, dude. I'm kidding. I'm joking, dude.
Person that he says he is, or, you know, that I thought he was. And it's really hard when you follow somebody for 2-3 years only to realize that the work that they're doing just, you know, was all completely a lie.
I agree. Devastating. I thought he cleaned up the IMVU community. I love that community so much. I'm always on there MVing you all the time. And then now I can't, you know, now I can't.
I only spoke to the victims because I felt a sense of duty to give a voice to those who've been
I felt a big sense of duty this morning, brother.
Intimidated,
sister, sorry.
To where they...
I call everybody brother. It's nothing. I'm not transphobic.
Felt too scared to speak out, and
publicly.
I wanted to change that. I wanted to give them a platform. I still do. I still want to hear stories. I still want you to get the justice and help you deserve, but I want to do this the right way.
Got a story for you. This is the story of a girl who had a mythical power. And that power was that when she cried, an entire river erupted from her eyes. And unfortunately, she had drowned the whole world. It's terrible stuff. It's terrible stuff. It's how Noah's Ark started. People think that God did it. They're right. But as Ariana says, God is a woman. And also, she says, I want to steal your ugly boyfriend. That looks like Curly Daddy 101. So that's a beautiful thing.
In a way that is morally ethical, that's tactful, that's dignified, that's graceful.
Yeah.
And I want anybody that wants their stories told, I want you guys I want you guys to ask me to do it. I don't want to be the one to ask you.
What the fuck are you talking about?
That person that continues to make sure that that's what you want to do, but going forward.
Oh, consent. Yeah, consent. Got it.
It's up to you if you want to tell your stories or not. But before you do that, before you open yourself up to that exposure, before I open myself up to that exposure, I want you to seek the help of a mentor, a counselor, a therapist, your parents, a friend, whatever. I want you to go to the police. And
yeah, go to the police, guys. Kiss them on
all
the lips.
that seems to fail you.
Give them kisses.
Then
if all that fails you, I'll have to step in. Red Pagan Corner. I'm gonna step in and I'm gonna take over where the police failed. I'm gonna put up my dukes. I'm gonna take a dookie and I'm gonna take him out. I'm a fucking legend.
The last resort would be coming to some pissant little YouTuber who posts leftist content.
True, we got enough of those, honestly.
But I want to hear.
We need more racists in the world. Too many fucking lefties posting content. Like, it's boring. You know what I mean? Give me a Nazi, am I right? I don't like them, but at least it's something for me to talk about. Because then I get to go, guys, Nazis are bad, and everybody's like, wow. Look at this guy. He's so smart. He's such a smart guy. Wow. What a nice guy. What a great guy. He's like, that's a bad thing. And that's true. It is. But a lot of people don't know that they're bad. I don't know if you do that. So I'm one of the very few people who will publicly stand up and say, hey, cut that out, Nazi.
I do want to hear your stories. I want to hear them. I want to help you fight in whatever way, shape, and form that I can.
Yeah.
But we need to do this the right way.
Let's do it together.
We need to do it in a way that's going to be
fight
dignified and graceful and
fight for our lives.
I also want to thank Nexpo. I want to thank Mudahar and anybody else out there that's been essentially making videos on this and exposing Max's lies and everything to the public.
When you gotta take a stand, it don't help to hide.
Working to expose the real truth, and those that have reached out.
When you hurt my friend, then you hurt my
just how
pride.
far I had my head
I've gotta take a stand. I've gotta be a man. I am a real American. Fight for what's right in every man.
Even when I was
I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for our lives.
Very kind and forgiving.
Not bad. Also, I hear people will complain sometimes when I sing in my videos. And go watch someone else then, pussy. I only sing when what we're listening to. This doesn't, like, what we heard her say this 8 times. You know what I mean? So it's okay that I sang. It was fun. It's called being transformative in a different way than this creator. They're transformed in a different way. By the way, God bless them. I'm happy that they found their truth. Okay? We all transform differently. All right? Like I said, I'm a ghost.
Giving in the last few days as I come to terms with everything.
Shit, I come to the terms and conditions too.
You don't know how much that really means to me.
That's a heavy read.
It so much.
That's a heavy read.
We all deserve redemption. We all.
Not everybody.
We're all human. We all make mistakes. We're
Not
easily
me.
swayed and.
Not me. We're actually built differently.
We can be easily trusting and even forgiving, but we're also incredibly naive. We're incredibly biased. We can be apprehensive.
True.
Very apprehensive creatures.
True that.
When it comes to trust and forgiving people, especially when we've been burned
I
before,
didn't mean to do
or
that.
you know,
Shit.
we simply just refuse to accept something that's very
You
clearly
guys
right
remember the show Burn Notice? I used to watch it a lot.
in front of us. So,
All right, cool.
I guess I will just close on a quote from Albus Dumbledore.
Oh, you can't quote Harry Potter, dude. I call everybody dude. Okay, you can't. That's transphobic to quote Harry Potter. Okay, here's my quote from Albus Dumbledore. 50 points to Gryffindor for Harry shaving his balls. That's my Albus Dumbledore quote. Because he would just give them constant points. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Because yes,
I think it's because he knew he was gonna kill him one day, so he kind of felt bad. He's like, I'm gonna keep giving this kid points. He's gonna die one day, and then get resurrected. I guess I don't know if he knew that part though.
I'm a fucking nerd. Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if only one remembers to turn on the light. Everyone deserves that happiness. Everyone deserves that redemption. It's just a matter of being able to find the light so that we can see who and what was hiding in the shadows. I'm Red Pagan.
It was a werewolf the whole time.
Nicole, and this has been Red Pagan Corner.
Is this actually canon? Is this canon Harry Potter?
I love you all, and good night.
What's the next
If
minute?
you're a survivor of CSA, there are no words in any language in which I can express how sorry I am for what you have been through.
I can. Hey, that sucks, brother. All right. Interesting. That's all I have to say.